never know. You never know.
I mean, dude, creativity is a cruel mistress, man. Like, when you're a creator, especially with music, or I mean, I'm sure with anything, but some days shit just doesn't click. And like you said earlier, you'll leave the studio and it'll ruin your whole night.
Yeah.
Because shit just wasn't clicking. And it's not something you can force either, you know?
Yeah.
So like, how do you deal with that?
This is a big don't try. It's a big don't try. I've really learned to give myself, you know, you talk about intuition and listening to your body. You know, he's talking about his vocal cords and the creativity isn't flowing through him the way he wants it to. You know how many people have been yelling at me to put out an album? And it didn't matter because not that I haven't had, you know, I've had creativity kind of throughout the whole thing, but I've gone in waves and I've learned, look, I used to look at it like sports, right? Which it's just a different side of the brain. It's a different animal. It's like apples and oranges. You know, to be a great athlete, you show up, you go to the gym every day. You know, you go get your shots up, you go get your workout in after. These are the things that you have to do.
I think the physical stuff doesn't really compare to the creative stuff.
Right,
you know?
right, but it really doesn't. And my point was, I came from the athlete world, and I would really beat myself down and kind of not belittle myself, but just be like, what are you doing, bro? Like, you haven't been in the studio, you haven't been able to do anything in 3-4 days. Like, you know, show up and like do the work and get it done. Like, just go in there and muscle it out, you know?
Yeah, that's not how it works.
And I learned, I think there was a big shift. I mean, I've been making music for almost a decade now.
Yeah.
And about 3 years ago, in that LA house when we had our studio, I learned how to record myself. There was a big kind of shift where I had that breakthrough, and I was just like, look, man, like, I don't have to, like, it's okay if a week goes by and I don't get anything done. You know, it's okay if a few weeks go by. All I know is my intentions are set, right? I know what I want to do. And I started looking at life as work. And I'll explain that. Like, I started looking at going outside, you know, going to bars, going to dinner with my friends, talking to my mom and dad, you know, visiting home, you know, just being out in public, going to the beach, going and doing these things. It's like
And that fuels the creativity.
Yeah. I started to learn, like, really, I had that breakthrough. I was like, dude, I'm sitting in this fucking room looking at this wall, like, where's the inspiration supposed to come from? I'm not even giving myself a chance to be inspired. And he's probably doing that. He's probably doing that, you know? And I would start to look at life as your canvas, you know? And a big part of my creativity shift also was, you know, I started to freestyle and let things flow through me. When I talk about being a vessel, like, it's hard to, you know, sit there and write songs and pen these ideas. You know, everyone has their own way of approaching it. But for me, that was a breakthrough. So I started looking at everything. It was like, you talk about collecting coins. Like, I go and do these things and travel and be with my friends and just have days where I didn't even think about making music. But I know that all that data I collected from going out and having these feelings and these experiences, going to the bar, having a great night, hooking up with this cute girl, you know, all these like things and experiences, I started viewing them as necessary parts of being a creator, you know? And no matter what your life is, maybe it's not that, maybe it's with your family. You know, there's plenty of creators and great songwriters that channel the emotions of their family and their kids or their wives or the ups and downs of personal relationships. These are all great experiences that you can channel. And what I will say is, the tighter grip you have on this, the tighter you try to squeeze it in to make it fit into these, you know, this picture you're trying to paint, I just think it's gonna make it worse. It's gonna make it harder. It's gonna make it harder for it to be truly, you know, indicative of what you're trying to get out and what you're trying to create. So
yeah, and Rick Rubin said quality over deadlines.
Absolutely.
Which means, I mean, I'm sure, especially in today's day and age, people are very impatient with everything.
Yeah.
And you just
Absolutely.
don't try, and just don't be forced to put something out at a certain
Absolutely.
time. Just wait till the quality's there.
It's back to faith, divine timing.